Hey, what's going on, folks? It's your boy CJ Wilson, your host of Doak Talk. Here with my guy Larion again. We got another episode of House Divided. Just to give you news from both ends in regards to what's going on day to day within the program, the games, and things like that with Florida State and Miami. Of course, we wrapped up the regular season this past weekend. Miami has a big game this upcoming Saturday. Got to prepare for. Well, I got some tweets to get out Saturday morning, bro. I really got some tweets to get out Saturday morning.
I know y'all, man. I know y'all jumped for joy when y'all seen that, man. I was, I won't even say disarray, disbelief. I was just.
I saw it coming though, just from what Syracuse did on offense. Now, when I saw y'all jump out 21-0, I was like, okay, shoot, it's a wrap. They gonna do their thing and go ahead and put a bow on this. Start looking at the score, 21-7. 21-14, 21 up. Like, what I'm saying? Like, okay.
That's when I turned it on. I actually had a funeral to attend. My aunt passed, so I was down in Georgia.
That's right.
I was driving back. So I'm driving back, and my lady said, yo, how about I'll swap it so you can watch the game? I said, oh, yeah, I forgot the game was even on. Because I was thinking the game came on later on for some reason. So we swap out, and when I turn it on, it's 21-0, and here comes the 7. Like you said, then go 14. I said, oh, boy, here we go. Here come the ride. Go ahead and strap down, man. And they tied it up, and I was just like, yeah, this just ain't going – it's not going to bode well, man.
I really thought that y'all lost – well, I thought y'all won the game rather when they put that freshman running back in and he ended up fumbling on that drive or whatever. And Fran was cussing the running back coach out.
Slap. Ow.
Snap.
But you know what's funny? They showed him 3 minutes later after the fumble recovery or whatever from Restrepo. And he was like hugging him up and shit. Like, my bad.
Right, it's all good, my brother. It's all good.
Just had a moment. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now, if it was score, though, my ball pass should have been a little bit different.
That shit was so funny, bro.
I get it too, man. If you see the running back coach walk off, so like, man, fuck, man, this motherfucker. No
fuck. Like, damn, man, try to give your ass a chance.
Try to give your ass a little love. He motherfucking ass fumble. He's like,
cost me my job, man.
Right, literally can cost me my job. But that's how I go, though, bro. There be little shit like that, man, that can really be in the player's hand. And the kid had like a 7 or so yard game, too. It was a tough little run.
Yeah.
Some extra yards, so it's crazy how the flip of the damn. If y'all tackle him for 7-8 yards, it's cool. It's all forgiven. It's not even brought up. He fumbled the ball. Why the fuck is this motherfucker in the game and all that type of deal? Go pretty much do a little recap of that Syracuse game. I'll speak a little bit about the Florida game, not too much, and then we'll jump into the playoff rankings and all that type of deal, and just how the ACC itself could be getting a raw deal. What you kind of saw them lay the blueprint last year, and just kind of keep going with it within this year. So we'll jump into that in a second. Of course, it was signing day. We'll recap the highs and lows of signing day, and FSU has been mid-season as far as coaching. Man, there's been a lot of excitement as far as coaching. Your favorite DC / linebacker coach / head coach too. Randy Shannon got let go today, so we'll jump into all of that in a few. But yeah, man, it's a tough day for the state of Florida, right?
Randy go home. Randy go home now. Hey, don't nobody else give Randy a damn job, all right? That's ridiculous. I'm talking to you, FIU. FAU, I'm talking to y'all. Tell them no thank you, Randy. Just go home, be a family man. Randy hate his house, don't he? God, dog, man. Hang up the headphones, man. Hang up the headset. Right. Let's get, let's move on to family life, man.
Enjoy life, man. Enjoy life.
Yeah. Man. But we'll recap, it's so crazy, man. It feels like forever ago, but it was just, the other day because there's so many turn of events since then. But
bro, you can just talk about it a little bit. Then we can really
we won't deep dive. I won't deep dive. I mean, like you said, we jumped out, had the lead, had an opportunity to put them away. And without getting back into the minutia of the game, a lot of people's like, oh, the game was truly lost when when X coughed up that fumble. And I'm like, well, we can never put it on one play. What we have to look at and what we knew coming into this down the stretch of the season, especially once we got in the ACC play, let's just call a spade, man. The defense It's just god awful in big chunks of football games. Period. Only time we really looked good in ACC play was against Wake Forest. Which we should have, but we should have looked like that against Duke.
A lot of the
Another
teams.
bad. Yeah, there wasn't enough good offenses that we faced. Cal wasn't a good offense. We could have looked a lot more impressive. And they really, when you go back to that game, it was chunk play. Bottom line was, statistically, if you look at us, we really ain't that low in a lot of defensive categories. But your eyeballs are telling you, nah, something's different here. And it's too many. There's just too many opportunities for a team to just walk when they get ready to. And that's exactly what happened to the Syracuse game. There's no way I'm putting the game on a fumble by a wide receiver when we had a 21-point lead. My defense has got to do something to maintain that, hold these guys off. Every game can't be the offense got to score 55 to win the game. It just can't be. That's no balance. As you're not going to win, championships like that. Hats off to Syracuse. An underrated team. I can't believe
they should be ranked. Syracuse is not.
I think they did rank them now, but it's what's funny about Syracuse? Can't believe they lost to the teams they lost to. Boston College.
They lost some bad losses.
They just had some nasty losses. And Boston College is always one of them sneaky. They can give you a day.
Okay, but that's Stanford.
Stanford's awful. Yeah, Stanford's god awful. So we lost to a team that we knew could get in there and shoot bullets with us back and forth. And ultimately, we just needed the defense to just finally bow up, make just a few stops, make a play. Mish Powell, I didn't see people say, the game was lost when Mish Powell dropped the interception and hit him in the breadbasket. So I can't put it on one play on the offense. Certainly not going to put it on one play on the defense. But the offense has been doing their job a hell of a lot more than the defense. So that's where the game really was lost at, man. You got to, at some point, be able to get some stops, create a turnover here and there. It just can't continue to be, we'll just win every game, 55 to 49. It's just not a winning formula ultimately. But hats off to them, a good team. They got some athletes out there. Fran's a hell of a coach. Big fan of this guy as just an individual. And what he's done in Syracuse in short time. I like how he's taking it serious. I think he's not looking at this job as like just some breeze through. I think he's really trying to build something there and show people it can be done. So, but yeah, that's the long and short of it, man. So, we shot ourselves in the foot in that situation. The Georgia game made everybody open their eyes a little bit more. We'll get a little bit more into that when we get into the ACC stuff. But, we win one of those two games. Then we're in. But everybody don't face that same scrutiny. We'll get to that in a little bit. We'll get into that.
Jump into that right now, to be real.
You want to? Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about it then. Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much, like you said, Miami is a 2-loss team, right? 2-loss ACC team. You got SMU, a 1-loss ACC team. Clemson with a three losses, this and a third. Now, I think Clemson kind of shot themselves in the foot with not taking care of business against South Carolina. But it's still, yet again, I think if they win, they'll be in. If they lose, they'll be out, right? But then you have a situation where SMU, a 1-loss team, going to their conference championship, end up taking their second loss on the season, could possibly be left out of the playoffs in favor for some 3-loss teams. And again, going back to Miami, even though they aren't playing for the conference championship, you still have a 2-loss team. Now you have a bunch of 2-loss teams within the conference like the SEC or the Big Ten. Even if they're sitting at home, they'll be pleading their case, saying not even pleading their case, they'll be good, to be honest with you. But if they weren't, they would be 100% good. They'll be locked into the playoffs. They wouldn't be having that conversation. But you got a Miami have to go on a begging tour, not necessarily just a begging tour in a bad way, but just
politics. We gotta get out here and politics.
Into Miami, the ACC, even other coaches. I've never seen this shit done before in my life. Dabo advocating for SMU, pretty much all of these ACC coaches, seeing the jig and seeing how it ended last year and seeing what we have now, are pretty much coming together and voicing their opinions. And they're absolutely right, in my opinion. Even though I hate Miami, this, that, and the third. If you look at the games that's been played, common opponents, all that type of deal, and they say that, I think they said that Miami has 0 top 25 wins and Bama has like 3 or so or some shit like that. Same damn time. What are these rankings based off of? Preseason rankings, right? For the most part.
Totally opinion based. there's no real metric to decide who is ranked 1 through 25. It's just some people get together and say who they think the best through the worst teams are. So that's why it's disappointing. I kind of saw it coming. That's why I wasn't really a big fan of the expansion. It was only a way to get more SEC and Big Ten teams in it. They presented it like winning would matter. And then when there was an opportunity to say, hey man, you had your chances, look at this season. Who walked through this season unscathed thus far? Oregon, that's it. Everybody else took at least one. And that it's been such parity in college football, which is what I've been dreaming of for a little while. That's one reason everybody hate Bama, because it was just so dominant for too long. It's like, all right, man, like we gotta spread the love a little bit. It's cool to see Michigan win last year, break up some of the monotony or whatever. But if the spirit of this was winning should matter, which is what I thought they were trying to preach, then losses gotta matter too. And you only want to talk about Alabama's ranked wins. What about their losses? They lost to a 6-6 Vanderbilt. They lost. They lost to Tennessee, and they lost as 25-point favorites to Oklahoma. Like, we got to call this what this is. And
to further your point, Lane Kiffin, who's been on a damn soap opera Twitter tirade, pretty much just crying like a little girl about the situation. Oh, hey, look at who will be favored this, that, and third. I'm pretty sure Ole Miss will be favored by X amount of points against whatever Big 12 team, ACC team, whatever it may be. Yeah, you may be. But at the same fucking time, he was favored by 13 points against Florida, and there was another loss they had that they were a double-digit favorite in as well.
Exactly.
So
that was at home. That was at home.
These are two teams, and Florida Miami kicked the shit out of Florida, like beat the hell out of them.
Right.
And Kentucky been terrible this year, aside from a close game against Georgia. But then that doesn't even hold any more weight as it did early in the season.
Right.
Let's put up 20 on Georgia, and we seen Georgia Tech should actually beat Georgia in that last game. If in regulation, certain things didn't go the way, it shouldn't even went overtime. So you can't even use the argument about Kentucky being a good law,
right?
And Kentucky being a close game. So that's a good sign for Georgia. No, it's not, man. You guys try to use this. Okay, we're playing against each other and beating up on each other. So everything we do, every loss is a good loss. Nah, that's not the case.
That's
like I told you, not necessarily years ago. I think it was last episode. You got the '90s Florida State, Miami, where it's a one-loss Miami team, one-loss Florida State team. Probably Florida State in most cases, because we kept missing them damn kicks against y'all and shit. So you have a one-loss Florida State team who lost to Miami, and you're talking about the two most talented teams in the country, right? If that's the case, then Florida State should say, hell, if we play Penn State in the fucking national championship, we'll beat the shit out of their ass. We'll be favored by X amount of points,
Right.
But games have to matter, right? And as far as the playoff committee, we can see it's a clear agenda. But I do agree, Miami has gotten snubbed out of the playoffs. You're supposed to control your own destiny. I get that 100%. But when you have a conversation about 3-loss teams being over 2-loss teams and then try to use this conference this and conference that, nah, man, I don't.
That was set up from the get-go. And some of us fell for it, point blank period. The other thing you can look at Alabama is
dominant in non-conference play.
Right. You can another thing, if you want to go and look in comparison to Alabama, because they wanted to, again, let's go back to rankings. Syracuse should have been ranked when we played them.
Absolutely.
Georgia Tech beat a ranked Florida State at the time. Rankings are opinions. Like, does that
should have been nowhere near
no.
the team that should have been in the country?
The team that finished 2-10. That's not a shot. That's just what the truth is, right? That's how it went down. So why do rankings you're trying to use that as a metric when winning should be the ultimate metric? And we both played South Florida, right? Y'all played South Florida at home, struggled mightily to beat that team. That team took y'all to the wire. We beat South Florida ass. It was a game for a little first half, a little bit. Really, we closed it out at the end of the second quarter, and that was the ball game in their house. So it's just to keep selling these narratives because they're in bed with these particular teams. And, the thing is the ACC deal is also with ESPN. They just pay us less. So instead of them trying to bolster their product that isn't being, watched as much, because it isn't. It's not on the same. But Miami did have a couple of the top watch games this year. That's just facts. You can go look that up for yourself. I had it printed out one time. Just we've been up in that top. Push it. Push the product. You're the one selling the narratives. So instead of selling that the ACC is a highly competitive conference, which we clearly see, because like you said, Georgia Tech should have beat Georgia in regulation. We beat Florida. There's examples on and on and on. Even the South Carolina Clemson game, nice tough game. It's a lot of parity right now, but they taking care of their best friends, their babies, and so therefore they're going to try to push for more and more teams. When we go to a 16-team playoff, them two still going to have 4 automatic berths. They're not going to call it that.
Right, because they're trying to turn into a Big 2 conference in the first damn place. So you know how it is, man, which is ridiculous. So you just made a good damn point in regards to let's kind of transition a little bit and talk about these conferences, right? So you have an ACC that's in bed with ESPN, but clearly they're not doing their job in bed, to be pushed a little bit more, to be on your hand, to be posted on Instagram and Facebook and all that type of deal. So you got the two Big Ten, the Big Ten and the SEC in regards conference and big money and things like that. FSU kind of started this trend. It wasn't really necessarily about the AC, from FSU perspective, it wasn't nearly about the snub from the playoffs last year, but more so just the money and TV revenue itself. Now, of course, now you leave the conference, there would be money that you would get in, not necessarily money, but you will have favoritism as far as these political talks that we're having right now. But the main thing is money, as far as the TV money. So do you feel like with this snub on top of that, on top of the TV money, FSU kind of jumped in front of things as far as trying to lead the conference and join the SEC or the Big Ten? Do you feel like that'll be something that Miami will try to do or push moving forward, to be more aggressive with moving forward, especially how things played out down the stretch?
Absolutely. I saw in the chat somebody said that we sided with the ACC. Miami sided with the ACC. We didn't side with the ACC. I'm just be honest with you. Florida laid on the sword. Florida State, and Clemson laid on the sword. And I mean, to just be honest with you, it's smart to just let them go ahead and do it since they jumped out first, and they were the best people to jump out first. We didn't have the voice at the time. Florida State and Clemson were, the top 2 teams at the time. They had the best product to sell and the best argument as to why, there should be some larger revenue shares coming their way, right? So Miami didn't side with them. It's just, it ain't your time to talk right now. Let them talk, watch how it goes, and then you can join the battle at the appropriate time. Everybody ain't supposed to be at the front of the line at the same time, but we all know ultimately everybody wants out of the ACC. It just doesn't bear any weight anymore.
Everybody that take football serious.
Exactly. And I mean, and everybody take money serious. So who want to get left out? And nobody gonna want to get left out. They just may end up left out. You may see, as these conferences, like we just saw the Pac-12, right? Amazing. I've been watching Pac-12, I don't know, my whole life. It's gone now. Everybody jumped ship because it just wasn't no money left, and they knew where they could go get them some money. So when their deals was up, or they jumped ship, got out. And so, yeah, of course, that'll absolutely be the direction. That's going to be the direction for anybody left in this ACC, because the money can't be garnered there. And that's just the bottom line. You sign a bad deal, that's on everybody involved that did something that egregious. I mean, we ain't learned nothing from Magic Johnson. Bro, you don't sign no 100-year deal for $1 million a year. Like, it seemed good at the time. Well, just sign something shorter and let them pay you for, where you at now and see where you grow.
Grows year by year.
Yeah.
So to even jump into that was crazy in the first place. Yeah. But exactly. I do think the teams within the ACC, Clemson, Florida State, Miami,
UNC will want to get out. I mean, nobody gonna want to say NC State. There's nobody that's gonna want to be in it. Syracuse would be well fit in the Big Ten. That'd be, right up their alley. Virginia Tech. ACC football is not bad football. Like,
it's a good quality football, to be honest with you.
Thank you. Exactly. Like, and you go back and look at some of these recent bowls, we continue to live on past narratives, which is how Alabama has this advantage this year anyways. And the fact that, they got these ranked wins against teams that, again, who decided these guys were so good? Me and CJ have been over here talking for, weeks about how Missouri is just, and why they even up there, right? And then we seen when they had an opportunity to prove it, they get their ass whooped. So Who's deciding these
Boston
things?
College. Boston College gave them everything they wanted.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? And this is not a good Boston College, but they good enough to sit there and go toe to toe. The ACC could go toe to toe the SEC week in and week out if we talking this season. We cannot continue to live on greatness from years past. We got to talk about what's going on today in college football. Ain't none of them who like that over there. It definitely ain't Georgia. It definitely ain't Alabama. Certainly isn't South Carolina or Ole Miss.
And I don't truly believe it's Texas either.
Texas got chinks in the armor too, right? We know they could go down. I suspect they may lose to Georgia again, right? They'll take this same team, So who over there is just stepping on shit to the point where it's like, nah, y'all don't want no smoke. Like I had somebody try to introduce that to me this morning. I was using a 26 account. And I said, who else besides me? I want Ole Miss now. They all be damn. I don't care about that no more. Please give me Ole Miss. Because Lane Kiffin been doing a lot of fat mouthing in politics. And Lane, you had every chance to win. Every chance to win. You got bad losses. And your wins.
If we're being quite frank, man, you did a bad job coaching this year. You went all crazy in the portal. This is supposed to be the year for Ole Miss. You got this kid and that kid and that kid in the third. And shit, you still didn't know with 3 damn losses. So
you blew it.
Right.
Now it's hard to play in Florida. We did it. You think that environment for Miami and Florida wasn't more intense than Ole Miss?
Right.
Don't play yourself. Don't play yourself. There's nothing but hate in that stadium. Them people hung in there too. I'm giving them that. I said that when I watched that game. They gave it the long fight, bro. Them people did not really get out of there. Yeah, they wanted it bad, man. People ain't really get out of there until about 5 minutes left in the fourth. They was really putting in all their energy in that team. That's an old actual hatred and rivalry. So all these crybaby narratives ain't it. And that's the thing. I don't want to cry for Miami because we did hold our own fate in our hands. However, we got to call a spade.
You see the tea leaves of the ACC in regards to 2 things. How the ACC is trending as far as perception. You started last year. It's the first undefeated P5 team ever being left out of the playoffs in favor for, I want to say it was two teams that lost the game.
Right. Washington already took an L.
3 teams then, rather. Washington took an L, Texas and Alabama. So you have undefeated P5 team in favor for three teams that took a loss or whatnot. And then this year, like I said, you have a 2-loss Miami team on the cusp of not because they're out of the playoffs. And then you have a SMU team who only has 1 loss at the damn time who's playing. They easily could be replaced by these 3-loss SEC teams that can get into the playoffs based off the perception. And then you look at the money side of the situation in regards to how much more of an advantage it is for a Vanderbilt over a Florida State. Like Vanderbilt gets X amount of TV dollars versus Florida State. It's like 60 or 80 million. I think it goes up every year in the SEC. I'm not sure the exact number here is right now. That's the crazy part, right? And we're stuck at 20 or so in the ACC. We're talking about Vanderbilt having a money difference in regards to Florida State, a $60 million money difference, just to 60 to 40 million just to put in the ballpark. Now, you throw that to a Florida, you throw that to a Georgia, a LSU, like teams that you have to bang with on a regular from a recruiting standpoint and things like that. And this is the disadvantage grows annually, and there's nothing you can do from like a booster standpoint and things like that to kind of combat that. Because at the same damn time, these other schools are still having their booster dollars come in as well. So you're still economically behind the 8 ball with a lot of these schools, and that's a recruiting tactic as well. You see the ACC this year signed 0 5-stars, if I'm not mistaken, across the board. Clemson, Miami, no 5-stars. All the 5-stars are going to the Big Ten and the SEC. It's a narrative thing, and like I said, when you have a lot of dollars that you could throw into recruiting budgets and things like that, when you don't have that for a team like Florida State or Miami or Clemson, it's pretty frustrating, especially when you got these teams that are pretty much carrying a conference from a TV standpoint, and the conference will completely fold if said teams will leave. If one of the teams will leave, I think the conference will completely fold versus what we have on the table versus other schools as far as the TV deals and the perception that they have. So leaving the ACC, in my opinion, I know people gave Florida State flack in regards to last year, all that type of shit, but nah, it's bigger than just a playoff snub and missing that year. It's a money situation as well, and we want to compete with the big boys on the national scale. You got to be in those conferences.
Big picture.
That's how it is.
Stand
Last year,
corrected too. Washington was undefeated. My bad.
Washington
I
was
thought they
undefeated.
did. Yeah, Washington was undefeated. So it was Texas and Bama.
That's right. They beat Oregon twice. That's right. They beat Oregon.
That's right.
Twice.
I thought they almost lost to Oregon both times, but yeah, they did pull it off. So
They almost lost to Washington State as well too, which was another thing that pissed me off. Like the fucking narratives they were saying about, Florida State. I know I'm kind of going on an old Florida State tangent, but Florida State played the last two damn games close without Jordan Travis. Florida State covered one of them damn games. Louisville and Florida covered the spread, right? You got a Washington team need the game win the field goal against a 5-win Washington State, and then you have a Alabama team who need the fucking miracle in the Iron Bowl to beat a terrible Oregon team. So we talk about covering spreads. Now, many of them teams down the stretch cover those spreads and beat the teams they're supposed to beat lesser opponents, that shouldn't be even competing. And we're talking about a Louisville team that was a top 20 offensive ranked at the time. So, but I do get the narrative in regards to
good defense.
Yeah. I do get the narrative as far as how to try to push the SEC versus these other conferences, and this is staying on the resume for sure.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But like I said, I think in due time, it just sucks, man. Like I say, when you sign a bad deal, trying to get out of it's going to be a mug. That's just what it is. It's going to be a long, hard road to try to fight your way out of it. But believe you me, if they ain't bringing a tremendous bag, the ACC will just not exist. And I don't think it is. I think the ACC will cease to exist. And I think it'd be like you were talking about, just two super conferences. And then they'll just make divisions within those two super conferences, and that'll be it. There's enough talent in those other conferences, enough geographical alignments that would make sense for a lot of these alignments to happen. And so they're going to get us for everything they can. And when it's up, everybody going to burn the ship down. It is what it is.
Money rule the world. I will move on to another topic. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We got about 130 or so people here. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. All right, let's jump into some signing day talk, man. It's been a really eventful signing day, to say the least. Early signing day, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like how they moved it up 2 weeks.
Remember, it used to be a day.
Bro, it used to be one day.
Take it off.
Yeah. It used to be one day in February. Now you have the 2 signing days, and they moved the early signing period up 2 weeks, which made no sense to me at all, especially from just a time standpoint, right? So the season ends, you gotta, if you make changes to your staff, people leave for other positions, you gotta try to figure this out to let this kid know who's going to be coaching here, who's going to be coaching there. You don't have a lot of time to do official visits before the season. Remember that I guess it was the rivalry weekend, but remember that last weekend before signing day was a huge weekend that you wanted to get kids on campus and things like that. You don't really have that anymore. You got to do all of your official visit type of things in the summer, unless you have a kid that holds off to February to get the full attention. Because, you can do official visits during the game and things like that, but it's not really the same because the coaching staff have to have so much attention towards, the team, game plan, or whatever it may be. A lot of your time is pretty much with off-field guys versus if you keep signing day at the regular time spot, you can have kids that you could host during that time frame and have the coaches give all their attention to. But yeah, so FSU had a pretty solid signing day. I guess I'll start off with some of the guys we got. I'm not going to jump into everyone that signed with FSU, but just some of the surprises from yesterday that led to signing to FSU. I'm going to start off with the first one, big time blue chip running back out of Georgia, Usman Cromha. It's been a FSU Georgia, pretty much an FSU Georgia battle for the majority of his recruitment. Auburn has been in there a little bit as well. But he's been consistent with saying that Florida State was a team he wanted to go to in this, that, and the third as far as how much they meant to him. This was way prior to the season. Of course, the season happened. He committed to Georgia. FSU run game was abysmal. Offensive line was abysmal. The season was terrible. Georgia is Georgia, right? Especially when it comes to running backs and that type of deal. To be honest with you, I felt like he would stick to Georgia. But the last few weeks, momentum started going to FSU favor. He ended up visiting for the Charleston Southern game, came back again, visited for the Florida game, had glowing reviews, pretty much the typical stuff he always say as far as, how real the staff is, relationship, I could be myself, all that. I felt that was perfectly fine, but at the same damn time, we 2-10 and it won't happen. Got some word like that Tuesday evening before signing day, like that evening, like, okay, maybe some real smoke to Cromha coming to FSU, and lo and behold, he ended up flipping to FSU, and there still was some damn drama with Kirby trying to fight tooth and nail to get the kid to send his letter in. So the kids, they announce their decision, then they sign a little BS paper. Sometimes it's not the actual signing the scholarship itself. Going in back and you never get the damn facts, and the other school kind of has damn money. It's crazy. Why would you announce I'm going to Florida State from Georgia, then 10 minutes later get on the phone with Kirby? Yeah, coach, you're right. Let me send that fax in. My bad, coach. But it's not really over until you actually receive that damn fax, even if you make that announcement on signing day. But FSU did end up winning out at that battle towards the end to get his signature. That was a huge win for Mike and staff. I really think Gus also played a part in that recruitment, because if you, as a running back, that's the offensive coordinator rather that you would want to play for, because UCF, Auburn, wherever it may be, Gus has always had a very good rushing attack. So to bring in Usman Cromha flipping from Georgia from a 2-win team is pretty damn impressive. Got Javen Boggs as well too. Kid, this to my Mr. Production. Like, this kid is fucking nuts, man. He won Mr. Florida last year, which is the most prestigious award in Florida football. I mean, his last few years, his junior year when he won the award, he had 93 catches, 1,400 yards, 1,014, or 1,500 yards pretty much, 1,493 total, 23 touchdowns. He followed it up his senior with 76 catches, with 1,600 yards and 17 touchdowns. So the kid is just ultra productive down there in Cocoa, down in your area, matter of fact.
Yeah.
There in Cocoa, like this kid is like,
thing, man. It's right around the corner from you, bro. I'm looking at billboards, Cocoa kids signing. It was some kids signed to LSU. They put a billboard. I said, man, I got to get out
Cocoa
some of these Friday nights, man. Yeah.
Cocoa Produce. That's one of the programs.
Yeah,
the quarterback, Brady Hart. He just reclassified it. He was committed to Michigan for the longest. He reclassified to this. He was a 26 kid, reclassified in 2025 class, and committed to Texas A&M. So Cocoa definitely, they got firepower. If I'm not mistaken, they're playing the state championship pretty soon as well too.
Who'd y'all end up with a QB? Who'd y'all end up with a QB?
Yeah. So as far as QB, as you know, what's the kid's name? Tramel Jones. Got that boy name already, man. Tramel Jones ended up.
That's how you got to be, like a quarterback. Short memory. Right. I don't remember you when you burn us till we play you.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you the one.
Yeah. Oh, that's the kid that recruited.
I remember you. How's it feel now, son?
Right. Put that pick against us.
So, yeah, how did that end up working out? I know.
Yeah, so he ended up flipping to Florida down the stretch, and that left FSU in a tough situation as far as the quarterback board. They ended up getting it was a quick transition as well. They ended up getting Kevin Sperry, 4-star quarterback out of Texas, who was committed to Oklahoma, and Brent Venables at the time. Ended up flipping him from Texas. Kid, like I said, 4-star kid. I think he won state championship this year, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the toughest classifications in Denton, in Texas. Played for Denton High School. I like the kid film, man. Pretty athletic. He's way more athletic than Tramel. I think Tramel probably has a better touch and accuracy on the ball, but as far as what we want, RPO reads and things like that, he's excellent in that shit. He reminds me of a Baker, so to speak. I'm not saying he's going to be Baker Mayfield, but you can see the resemblance in the film. So to get a guy in my opinion, for this class was big, because you got to have a quarterback every class. But the big quarterback, in my opinion, the one you got to hold on to is Brady.
Willie said, damn that.
You said what now?
I said, Willie said, damn that. Don't need no quarterback every class. I just remember that. I was like, how do you do that?
You don't need no skill position guys. We in the whole class outside the skill position.
A lot of cornerbacks. You can believe that.
A lot of DBs, baby. A lot of DBs. And then they asked me, well, Willie, what you got? What's in the works? I got a plan.
Ain't nothing like a dude without a plan to tell you got one. The minute Willie said that, I said, that man ain't got no plan.
He got a fucking plan. And my dumb ass, you hear that shit? He got a fucking plan, man. Sit back and chill.
What no plan? His eyes got big. I said, yeah, I got a plan.
Motherfucker when they got Hornet Brook from Wisconsin, now it's his plan, bro. Alex Hornet from Wisconsin. God damn,
I
bro. You
forgot
might
about Hornibrook. Oh my
keep James
God.
Blackman in the damn game. You go put Hornibrook out there, bitch. I'm
Yeah.
riding with James Blackman. Shit.
Yeah. Oh man.
Motherfucker
I
said he
love
got a
you,
plan
Willie,
and he had
man.
Hornibrook out there.
Love you, Willie, man. You gave us some great laughs, man. You know,
Shout out to
I
Willie, man.
know
My
it's up
dog
for
came in
y'all
out there.
side, but good God, Willie just
He
was
was trolling
an
the shit out of us,
entertaining
too,
guy.
man. My whole damn team, we playing against Boise. Our whole fucking team dehydrated, cramping and shit. They falling off the field. You got Boise State, they hyped up. Them boys ain't cramping at all. They boy come to the next damn practice, all the full of Dasani, drinking and shit. Make sure y'all stay hydrated. Motherfucker, what?
Man,
Your
you
team need
can't
to stay
troll your
hydrated,
own
bro.
team, jackass. Willie
Like,
was
this is your
different,
team.
man.
What are you talking about?
Willie was different, man.
He was
God bless
different.
that man. Willie's a different kind of brother.
God bless Willie. Now he with the
Anyway, go
Ravens.
ahead, man. I didn't mean to derail you.
Now he with the Ravens living the good life for Harbaugh coaching
Okay.
Derrick Henry.
That's an easy
Like,
job. I can't fuck that up.
Right,
You can't coach Derrick Henry.
Like, goddamn, bro.
Hey,
You get
big
fired
man,
coaching
just
Derrick
run.
Henry with it. Shit. And also, shout out to Willie, too, man. His son, which is crazy, his younger son, not Willie Taggart Jr., when that played for FSU, but his younger son, I forgot his name. Kid ended up being a prospect. He was like a 6'6", 240-pound tight end, a big kid, ended up signing with Maryland. So shout out to Willie
Okay.
Taggart. Kid signed with Maryland.
That's what's up, Willie.
Yeah, let's go back to the signing that I know we missed. I did a damn good job of replenishing certain positions. So we went 2-10. We had some damn good receivers. Shout out to the Donk, man. The Donk had some good receivers committed over the summer. Ended up losing all them bitches once the season being played, including Dalen McCutcheon and CJ Wiley, some elite guys, in my opinion, going to Texas and Georgia. But they did a pretty good job of replacing those guys. Flip, Tyreek Mallory, 6'5", 185-pound receiver out of Connecticut. He was committed to West Virginia. I like this kid, a lot of explosive kid. Jordan Scott, the number one JUCO receiver in the country, and it's crazy how it's like a mirror image. He's 6'7", 215 pounds, and he was committed to Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham. You know, Johnny was 6'7". We ended up getting him from Arizona State, but he's different from Johnny. Like this kid from a 6'7". Now, I told you on the roll-up days that 6'7", nah, he's not a tight end. He moves fluid like a receiver, right?
Gotcha.
This kid is more fluid than Johnny. He could move better than Johnny, come in and out of his breaks better than Johnny. Like he moves like a 6'1", 6'2" type of guy, which is crazy. So I like him a lot as well. And like I said, we got Boggs as well too. So we kind of pivoted from losing those elite guys to bringing in some guys that'll be pretty good, especially in a class where you don't have a receiver coach name and that type of deal. And you just named your offensive coordinator a few days ago. Kevin Wynn, we end up holding on to Kevin. We lost Solomon Thomas, of course, to LSU. Once Alex Atkins left, I think that was right on the wall for Solomon Thomas. He was real tight to Alex Atkins as the majority of that offensive line class was. But Kevin Wynn, 4-star, top 50 or top 60, depending on which ranking you use, defensive tackle out of Georgia. We had to hold on to him. University of Georgia, South Carolina had some real late pushes, but we were able to hold on to his commitment. You talk about a physical kid, quick off the ball, uses his hands. If he get a hold to your running back, man, I'm telling you, he taking that bitch for a ride. Like he flipping his left and right. Like he is violent as hell. So to hold on to him, man. Shout out to Odell, man. Even though we'll get to coaching changes in a minute, but shout out to Odell. He ended up doing a good job recruiting this kid down the stretch. Shamar Arnox, one of my a defensive back I like a lot. 6'2", 180 pounds, from South Florida, actually from Fort Lauderdale, ended up moving to Georgia this year and playing for Carrollton. If you guys remember, it was over the summer, it was a USC, Auburn, and FSU battle, so to speak, for him. Ended up committing to USC over the summer. He flipped to Auburn in the middle of November. FSU did a great job down the stretch, especially Pat Surtain, as far as pushing the development side. Like, hey, you go to USC, you go to Auburn, who's going to coach and develop you? You come to FSU, like you know what you're going to get from me. I'm going to be here, and ended up flipping the kid. Fluid kid, like I say, he's 6'2", real good ball skills. He's a physical kid as well. So, and flipped Tayshawn Gasley, a kid from Jacksonville, Florida, that was committed to Florida, flipped him to Florida State as well down the stretch. So it was a pretty exciting signing day for Florida State. The class wasn't elite by any stretch. The 2-10 season, all the decommits, we were in the 50s at one point. They did a lot of good work and they actually got back in the top 25. If you had told me a week or 2 weeks ago that FSU would finish in the top 25, I wouldn't believe you. So a hell of a job by the staff to close down the stretch, especially with that Cromar one, because I felt like once we didn't get that national letter of intent at a certain time, like, oh, shit, here we go. It's that kind of story where, you know, down the stretch and then closing moments of signing day to kind of finish things off, it'll go in Georgia's favor. but they did their job to get off Georgia to pry the home state kid from Georgia to Florida.
And now they don't even. It's not LOIs no more, right? Ain't it just
It
financial
is
aid agreement or
financial aid papers.
it's which I remember before wasn't binding. I don't know. It's getting so weird now. They have a union in a minute.
I don't. Yeah, it's so much gray area and how much that shit changed.
Yeah.
Whenever the fucking official team tweeted out, that's when I know them bitches in, bro.
All right, I guess I think that matters. As far as us, man, y'all, I'll spare y'all some of the minutia of all the guys. I'll talk about, kind of where we went through, man. Grading as an overall. I gotta give it a B minus. Even close to a C plus. The class talent, I like.
Man. From the close, in my opinion, I think you guys did a good job getting them guys in committed originally, but y'all lost a few, and I also thought down the stretch, which is not, it's been Mario Light to kind of have some.
Right. There was no fireworks, and that's what I'm hitting at. Like, typically, that's where he do his thing. Couple of flips down at the very end that you may not expect. Maybe a Dallas Wilson, which I wasn't anticipating. I'll tell you the two that I anticipated. We had a real good shot with was Pickett, DJ Pickett. The 5-star corner. Probably gonna be more of a safety in college. Just depends. Is probably where his money should be as safety, I would think. Because he got worked in some of them games playing corner, man. To me, it's hard to be that fast and fluid at 6'5". But nonetheless, even just for the optics, we had family ties there. His cousin plays there. He visited quite a bit. He shocked everybody with LSU to begin with. And then he, ultimately stuck with it. So we got to take the L there. And then TJ Alford was another one I thought that we could get the flip there. I was hearing a lot of good momentum there. He ended up sticking with Ohio State. Same thing for Jaquez Carter. Those were three guys I was hearing a lot of good positive momentum with. And for Mario, that's supposed to be his whole bag. So I gotta say, you gotta stare those failures in the face. Best class in the ACC, cool, that's good, but that was never the goal. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, everything's cool.
Especially because I was shocked as hell. I think we were third or fourth in the ACC, but Clemson, it was in the 20s.
Yeah, I mean we're 14th, I think, according to the composite last I checked, which was a little bit earlier today. Sitting at 21 commits, average grades like a little over 90. A lot of good talent there. We addressed some needs for sure, but we missed on Ben Hanks. But again, it's a legacy kid. It's gonna be a hard pull.
I get that being a miss technically, but like I say, people play.
It is, but you can't call it a whiff, but you'll call it an L. We took the L. We fought
with the resources you put in.
Right, to the bitter end to try to flip that kid. And I heard it was some momentum. He just, but one thing about it, a lot of people saying, how did Florida pull this off? Writings on the wall, everybody. The money they ain't give to Billy, to pay Billy to leave, they put in the pockets of those players. So that's how Florida was on just a crazy flip stretch down the end. A lot of it was I never heard of. No disrespect to those kids, but I know we weren't in battles for most of those kids. And it was some, like some mid-major type, not mid-major, but like G5 kids. That's whatever. If that's what Billy want, cool. They ended up doing numbers and flips and stuff. They swore they was getting Dallas Wilson too, though, and that didn't work out for them.
They swore they was getting him.
They knew that was a wrap
too.
Yeah, that's true. But ultimately, did we address a lot of needs? Yeah, the secondary needs a lot of help. We got Jabari Antoine out of LSU country, out in Baton Rouge. Which was a big pickup to me. I like this film. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL, so we didn't get to see his senior film, but his junior film was good. Athletic kid, smart kid, played quarterback as well. So that helped us in that area. We got one of the better ball hawks in the state of Florida at safety to help us out.
I like him. I like him a lot. The kid out of Columbus.
Yeah, damn, I'm blanking on bro name right now. Hold
on.
Yeah, Bryce Fitzgerald. Bryce Fitzgerald.
Brian, I hate that shit because it was a point in time where we were in the league. It was rumors that we were going to get Bryce, and then
I remember that.
Yeah, bro. Then y'all motherfuckers. So I feel like once Miami actually get made had some interest, it was over. So once y'all came in, then the high school he went to and all that, it was a wrap. But you talking about a ball hawking safety, a kid that creates turnovers.
Right.
Bryce Fitzgerald creates turnovers. So yeah, I
It's
like
something
him.
we need. That's so.
Yeah.
The hits were there in that regard. We got some help up front in the defensive line. I think we need to get a little faster up there. We'll have Bain at least another year because this year he's banged up and didn't do the numbers that he could have. So we went out, got Hayden Lowe out of Cali, a guy they had real high on their board. They dropped the bag off to him. That's the thing too. Everybody talking about the bag, like. This is the thing when you got to look at some of this stuff. It's a budget
It's crazy
that
when you
everybody's
signing motherfuckers, so you got money, this, that, and third.
when you don't.
When you don't, motherfuckers, they overpaid and all that type of deal.
And that's why I say, man, stay out them people business talking about overpay.
Right,
what you have to understand, each of these staffs, each of these football programs and staffs have a budget to work with. They have to make discernment on where to spend that money. If you want to talk about, my bad, I shouldn't have skipped over this. The Drake Stubbs flip. Bottom line was he was in their country backyard and they dropped the bag off. They, did Miami have a chance to counter? Probably, but they just didn't want to put Miami that kind of money on kids.
Yeah, because Miami originally offered decent, real decent. Miami offered real decent. So if Florida upped the bag from what Miami offered, then
that's the word on the streets, and I respect it. It's his backyard, is more money. They like, we don't really negotiate with terrorists. That's your number, and that's what you're gonna do. That's fine. So now you allocate those funds to the portal, which that's the thing. That's what it is now. You got a budget that you got to split between high school recruits and the portal. No team is going to go without going in the portal. It's just what it is. So now we'll be looking at, say, a CJ Hurd or whatever. We'll be looking at somebody with some proven on-field production. You can't. So instead of paying him that, I could pay this guy maybe a little less around that, and I have a little more faith in what he can do out here on this field. So yeah, we attack that situation. We've got a couple of top flight tight ends. We'll need to fill that room up a little bit. Arroyo he'll be a top 64 pick or whatever. Riley Williams is still there, and Elijah Loftus there, but we need to get a few more bodies in that room. Mari Wallace was another kid. Unfortunately, he tore his knee up too, but he was starting every year at Central, man. And that was one of the things, as Miami fans, we asked to keep some of our homegrown talent right there. And he's a guy that can play, the nickel, can play a little safety as well. Chris Ewald, he got to get out there. He was originally, we flipped him from Georgia. And that was the biggest concentration of this particular class, was to take care of the secondary. We just ain't hit on some of the stars, the bigger names, and that's an L. I just got to call it what it is. It is what it is. But there's some talent there, and there's a lot of things that can help this class. Now we just got to get in the portal and take care of the other deficiencies, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm gonna call it. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a C+. I ain't even gonna call it a B-. Call it a C+.
All right.
We'll see what's going on.
In a nutshell. And also, I don't think FSU, real quick. Yeah, real quick. I also don't think FSU is done from the recruiting high school ranks. It's a few other kids that they're looking for. Tylen Lee, 4-star defensive end out of Milton, Florida, that's committed to currently Ole Miss. And also, this is a kid that's a 3-star kid, very underrated kid out of Palm Beach. They're already at FSU was looking at Teddy Hoffman, receiver, slot type of guy. I think he was planning on signing with FAU. FSU ended up getting him to push his signing back, and we'll see what we do as far as that. And there's one more kid as well too.
Kid out of, they ain't got no coach, right?
No, they ain't got a coach. But I don't think FSU is going to fight like crazy to keep him. But a bidding war or any shit like that. Yeah, you want to sign? Come on over.
Still FSU, bad season be down, trolls be down. FSU still getting FAU. I'm not two ways about that.
Yeah. You go take what we give you and come get this offer and work and go from there. But I think the kid is a dynamic playmaker, man. He's people in South Florida speak about him pretty highly within that area. and Jesse Harrell too, a 4-star defensive end, top 50 player in the top 150 player in the country, 6'5", 215. He recently decommitted from LSU from Tampa. He's a kid that FSU is looking at as well to try to close out this class. I know Michigan is giving him something to think about too. They got the bags out there, so we'll see. But yeah, coaching real quick. We'll go ahead and jump to some coaching talks real quick. FSU not fired. They hired offense and defensive coordinator Gus Malzahn. I'm not gonna get into him too deeply. Gus Malzahn, coming from UCF, was the head coach there. Top 20 offense the last few years. Top 10 rushing attack, number 6 overall. And one of our biggest woes, not one of our biggest woes this year, was running the football and establishing the line of scrimmage. I think Gus can kind of help with that. And also, Gus is a damn good recruiter too, and he's a guy that knows what it looks like from a look standpoint, upfront standpoint, just a playmaker standpoint. Talk about the guys he brought in at Auburn, and hell, even at UCF before the game started playing this year. UCF at the 9th ranked recruiting class, like they were getting certain guys. I think we went 4-8 this year. His defense was terrible, and his quarterback play wasn't great at all between those guys. But I think Gus could bring in some good elements, especially to the run game that we need, and also from a recruiting standpoint and just overall savvy vet. But the hire I'm most excited about is the defensive coordinator and Tony White from Nebraska. I'm really excited about Tony White. Top 25. Yeah, Tony nice.
I made a little. We did a little hot board just in case they was getting rid of Guidry, which I don't think they necessarily should just yet or will.
Yeah, but
I think Dawson out there, but
that'd be 3 DCs in 4 years.
Yeah, I don't think you should or will. Dawson, I think, will be going. A little buzz around that.
As far as not
job. Yeah, getting a G5 job or whatever. But yeah, I said I actually posted it because it was on a little on Twitter because I was like, I ain't gonna cap. If they pull this one off, I will, salute. That was a good hire because he was on my short list of, if we were to go that route, a guy that I thought would be a good addition. So
I'm talking about, he top 25 defense the last 4 years, including Syracuse and Nebraska. Top 20 defense in Nebraska this year, 14 rushing attack this year, number 6 rushing attack last year. They didn't give up a rushing touchdown at home at all this year for the first time since like 1937. Just some impressive running, some impressive run stopping numbers. You bring in his defensive line coach, Terrence Potrose Knighton. You guys remember he played in the NFL with the Denver Broncos, Jacksonville Jaguars, and he won a Super Bowl with the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken. A young, innovative coach. Just the word I've been hearing around Nebraska fans who hated these 2 losses. He's a hell of a recruiter, real tight with the players, real good developer, that type of deal. So to go from that to, Odell, I think it's going to be paying dividends for FSU to get younger and fresher on the recruiting trail. Now Odell's still going to be around the program in a different type of role, which is going to be great too for the program as well. But yeah, I like pot roasting. There's been smoke about a couple of those defensive linemen that's in the portal from Nebraska that's going to be following him to Florida State, and I think that'd be upgrades for certain.
Ain't no question about that. Wasn't bro wasn't one of them last chance
all the white women you can have at Madison Social? These white women here in Florida State. I'm telling you, these white women.
Different breed. I will give them that.
White women in Florida State than it is in Nebraska, man. So come on over here.
Different cut.
Different cut. Get some of them sunshine white women.
What? But wasn't bro on one of them hard not last chance use? I swore he was. I got to go look at it. Knighton. I gotta go look at his coaching record. I swore
he
was on one of them. I can't remember. Maybe Middle. What was that one? Eastern Mississippi or something like that. I'm gonna go look at his resume and see because I swore he was on one of those. I could be tripping though. But well, real quick, what you grade both of those? If you
I would grade Gus probably like a B plus. Now we know that Brendan Marion was the sexy and popular hire. But I do think that Gus might be better for FSU need currently right now. I really think he may be better in the long run for FSU needs right now. But for Tony, I think that's an A. I think that's an A hire. I really think that's an A hire. You bring in Pot Roast as well. That really solidifies it as being an A hire, in my opinion. And last little tip before we wrap it up on the coaching change, Randy Shannon, which is kind of been speculated for sure, but it's been official. They will announce officially that Randy Shannon won't be returning to the program next year. So the linebacker position will be open as well. So we'll see how that goes as far as who FSU targets to hire. So real exciting times, man. Got the furniture out in there. Got the furniture out of there, and you got your local longtime Floridian and Randy out. So the defensive line, defensive linebacker, you got to have young, fresh, innovative guys recruiting to bring in those type of guys, and I feel like we would get that moving forward, which would be a big help for FSU.
I like him, man. If I had to grade it, I'm gonna give you an A on defense. I'm gonna give you a C on offense, only because he's a little bit of old head. So I'm being ageist. But you're right, Gus do got the numbers. He got what it takes, and he's a good recruit. Let me quit lying. I'm gonna give him a B. Because he is a good recruiter as well. He's a good
and that's
recruiter
the main thing. I feel like shit. If you could bring in some guys in, shit, that's half.
There's always gonna be the Jimmies and Joes over the X and O's. I don't give a damn. Nobody say every play works if the right guy and they plugged in to pull that shit off. So pretty good hires, man. And like you say, you had to get younger in that defensive line room. So good overall overhaul, man. Now you just get a little winning going and see if they can get this program, turned back around to where it's supposed to be.
We'll see. Receiver coach should be on deck, linebacker coach, and of course offensive line coach, and that may be it. We'll see. From on field, I do think it'd be a lot of off field changes as well too.
All right, man. We gonna end up running just a little bit long. We wanna so I gotta get up out of here too. I guess we could just wrap, man.
Yeah.
Man, good show, man. Appreciate all y'all pulling up with us. We're gonna keep coming back. Y'all know the season over, but we're gonna keep pulling up on y'all. I don't know if we'll keep it weekly with the season over, but this has been a fun thing, man. We started
going on. We'll got to depend on the news.
We started this because that's my bro, and we got to connect from doing the other show. And was just like, man, let's get back together and have some fun. But we appreciate each and every one of y'all hanging out with us for each and every one of these shows we was able to do, and we gonna bring you some more, man. So salute to y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, for sure, man. Appreciate y'all joining. Appreciate y'all tapping in throughout the season with us. Like I said, this is my brother right here. It's always fun. We come hang out. We be trying to shoot for an hour. But shit, we just be chilling and talking for the most part.
Get the bumping gums, ain't it?
Right. And it really can just go long and just hanging out. But appreciate you guys for joining us, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. You get all your information for like-minded fans like yourself. Go ahead and share, subscribe, and join the party. Appreciate you guys for joining.
Peace.